Government Television. Welcome to this week's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting. Originating from the County Administrative Center, located at 1115 Truxton Avenue in Bakersfield, California. Grounded in ideas, energy, and innovation, Kern County's vision is to be a driving force for the world's fifth largest economy. And our mission is to exceed expectations of the communities we serve, changing the way they feel about government, those who manage it, and the services it provides. Today's Kern County Board of Supervisors meeting will convene momentarily.
Board to reconvene. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Supervisor Peters.
Here.
Supervisor Scrivener.
Here.
Supervisor Flores.
Here.
Supervisor Couch.
Here.
Supervisor Perez.
Excuse me, here.
Thank you. Good afternoon and welcome to the Tuesday, November 7th, 2 p.m. meeting of the Kern County Board of Supervisors. We'll first hear a report from County Counsel Margon Raison for any actions taken in closed session.
Good afternoon. This morning in closed session, you met on items 49 through 51, and there is no reportable action.
Thank you, Ms. Raison. Okay, at this time, we'll begin considering the consent agenda. All items listed with a CA or C above the item number are considered to be routine and non-controversial by county staff. The CA represents the consent agenda for the Board of Supervisors, and the C represents the consent agenda for the Kern Sanitation Authority. Consent items will be considered first. It may be approved by one motion. If a member of the audience wishes to comment or ask questions regarding an item on the consent agenda, they may do so prior to a vote being taken. A member of the board may remove any item from the consent agenda and it will be considered in its listed sequence with an opportunity for any member of the public to address the board concerning the item before action is taken. This time I'll read the consent agenda item numbers for the Board of Supervisors agenda. Okay, on page 2, item 4. On page 3, item 5 and 6. Page 4, 7 through 10. Page 5, items 11 through 13. Page 6, items 14 through 16. Page 7, items 17 through 24. Page 8, items 25 through 30. On page 9, items 31 through 35, and I've been informed that items 36 and 37 have been pulled by staff and will be heard in their regular order. Page 10, items 38 through 44, and on page 11, items 45 through 49.
I'll move we approve the consent agenda, adjourn as the Kern County Board of Supervisors, and reconvene as Kern Sanitation.
Perfect. Thank you, Supervisor Peters. And need a motion? Oh, public comment on any of those consent agenda items before I move for a motion. Okay, seeing none.
Second.
Okay, motion second. Please cast your vote.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Okay, we are now sitting as the Kern Sanitation Authority, and I'll consider the consent agenda, which includes item C1. Will any member of the audience like to comment on this item? Okay, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda and adjourn as the Kern County Sanitation Authority and reconvene as the Kern County Board of Supervisors.
So moved. Second.
Motion second. Please cast your vote.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Thank you. At this time, we have reconvened as the Board of Supervisors, and I'll consider item number 2, public presentations. This portion of the meeting is reserved for persons to address the board on any matter not on the agenda but under the jurisdiction of the board. Board members may respond briefly to statements made or questions posed. They may ask a question for clarification, make a referral to staff for factual information, or request staff to report back to the board at a later meeting. Also, the board may take action to direct staff to place a matter of business on a future agenda. Speakers are limited to 2 minutes. Please state and spell your name before making your presentation. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Ralph Robles, R-O-B-L-E-S, and I am a veteran. I bring 2 items before your board today. The first is a New York Times report that ballot stuffers were caught on camera stuffing a ballot drop box. And because of this, they are reordering a repeat of a mayoral election. This is a good example of why we need to have cameras observing the ballot drop boxes and why they should be available on the internet. The second item that I bring to you is that I have mentioned several times the Wi-Fi's on the voting machines. Most people don't know what a Wi-Fi is. For the uninitiated, it is a two-way radio, basically, that connects the computer to a router, which in turn connects the computer through the Wi-Fi to the internet. Once it gets on the internet, it jumps from point to point to point before it reaches its destination and uses the same process in reverse coming back. And what goes on here is that at any point, that signal can be intercepted and can be manipulated. That is why it is important to know whether or not a Wi-Fi is operating at the time that the ballot process is taking place. Wi-Fi radio signals are not detectable by sound, smell, or any other sense. You need a receiver that will tune into that frequency. And that is why it is important to be able to access the Wi-Fi equipment in the voting machines to ensure that they are turned off.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next speaker, please. Any? Not seeing any? Okay, at this time, we'll move forward on the agenda. Brings us to item 3, board member announcements or reports. Okay, seeing none either, we'll move to item number 36 under the County Administrative Office. 36 is to identify apparent low and responsible bid, an approved contract number 16507016.22 with S&B and Sons for Heritage Park beautification and enhancement phase 1. Mr. Zervis, would you like to start us off?
Yes, Honorable Chairman and members of the board, Chief General Services Officer Jeffrey Hill is going to present this item to your board this afternoon.
Great, thank you. Okay. Welcome, Mr. Hill.
Good afternoon, Chairman Flores, members of the board. Again, I'm here to briefly present some continued good news for improvements in our parks. The item before you, the items, we're going to hear presentations for 36 and 37, and I think you'll vote independently.
Correct.
The items before you are the request to identify the apparent low, responsive, and responsible bid for the contract with S&B Sons for Heritage Park Phase 1, which is just the restroom. And to appropriate unanticipated revenue from the California Natural Resources Agency Urban Greening Grant Program for improvements at Virginia Park. At Heritage Park, this project is the first phase of a larger project of improvements. At the last meeting, I presented that project to you guys, to your board as to begin the bidding process. This project includes only the CXT restroom that will be installed in the new CXT restroom that will be installed in that park, and will also include the utility connections and to coordinate the site pad preparation. And it requires that we coordinate the utilities with the Phase 2 contractor. Again, this is just the site plan. You can see down on the bottom by Ridge Road is where the new restroom goes, directly adjacent to the existing skate park. It's roughly in the same location where there's a portable toilet right now. This gives you kind of an idea of the green. Kind of the greening that the project will look like at the end of the project, and the dotted line square on the left indicates where the restroom and some of the other amenities for the larger project will go. This shows, again, the restroom we're going to be installing. I'll just cycle through those. If approved today, the notice to proceed will be for today for the project. The delivery of the restroom will be in May, mid-May, and we expect notice of completion the beginning of January. Next is the Virginia Avenue Park Improvement project. This project removes approximately 2,370 square feet of asphalt paving that used to be a planter and reconverts it back to a planter area. There are 13 new trees that will shade the existing parking lot, so we'll reestablish the shading for the parking in that area. And an additional 13 trees will be planted throughout the park. The grant provides for irrigation improvements to water these new trees that will reduce greenhouse gases, mitigate heat, and reduce air pollution. And this photo just gives you an example, that little strip of asphalt in between the parking area and the sidewalk is what will come out, and then you've seen them all over town, then the trees will be planted back in there. These will be appropriate trees for the area and for the climate, and they're low water trees as you can get. This shot just gives you an idea of along the bottom, you'll see the red and the black circles. Those are the new tree locations that are going along the roadway at Virginia Avenue, and then scattered through the park around where the baseball or the soccer field is. Those will be the other newer trees. This procurement method will be a low-dollar CUPCA award. It's $43,000, so we can streamline the award process. And it's pending approval by the California Natural Resources Agency for the plan. We've got the grant, but we just need to run the plan by them. Shouldn't be a problem. We're also scheduling for March for the installation of these trees, because that's the best time between now and summer to plant the trees. And as I've said before, this is I'd like to take the opportunity to talk about the Adopt a Park program. This is an example of both of our pamphlet and the application interest form for the Adopt a Park program. We're happy to work meaningfully with community groups to help keep our parks in great shape. Again, opportunities include cleanup teams, and General Services can help to provide materials, eyes and ears reporting, and among other tasks. The Adopt a Park Handbook is available at the County Parks webpage. And this gives you an example of the documents they can submit to at least signal some interest. I do have one organization that's interested. I'm not going to talk about them specifically yet, but I'm excited to hear that somebody's putting their hand up, I think. And so hopefully we'll be engaged with another meaningful organization to help keep our parks looking great.
Great news.
So the recommendation is that your board for item 36 award or identify the SMB Sons contract as the apparent low responsive and responsible bid, award the contract, approve the contract, and authorize the Chief General Services Officer or designee to sign, and authorize General Services to release all other bid bonds. And for item 37, approve the appropriation of unanticipated revenue from the California Natural Resource Agency Urban Greening Grant Program in the amount of $43,900. Approve the transfer of $6,312. Approve the establishment of the major maintenance project in budget key 1650, budget and key 1650-7252, and authorize the auditor to process the specified budgetary adjustments and accounting transactions. That's the end of my prepared comments, and I'm happy to have any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. At this time, we'll go to Supervisor Perez.
Thank you so much, Chair. Jeff, I hadn't had a chance to say publicly yet all of the individuals that were involved in a really remarkable Halloween event at Bell Terrace Park. And the county family came out in the droves, and the fire department, probation, a whole host of local actors who were present in the park on Halloween in the new driveway parking lot that you paved over a couple of years ago that has created opportunities there and driving attention there in a way that really nobody in that community has seen in decades. And our event on Halloween was exceptionally successful with members of the community coming out. Many of them, though it was a trunk or treat, brought chairs to sit around and not leave. We had to ask people at the end to go home. It was Halloween, it was time to wrap it up because it was such a sense of community. There was so much excitement there. We just gave out little bowls of nachos. It wasn't anything super fancy, but the love from the community, lots of organizations that all have a list next time that we're here. But it was truly a beautiful special event, Jeff, more than I could have imagined. And it's exactly what we've been envisioning about what could happen with these Adopt-A-Park. You know, the emphasis on drawing the eyes, the community, and all of the hands that come with that, right? And at that event, I had a number of people in the community who have been there for decades who want to partake in the Adopt-A-Park program and had, needed a reason to go there and see the excitement, see the, be a part of the synergy that's there. And today we're planning a Christmas event there that we're going to give out gifts and some gumbo, which is nice and warm and fresh. And I think the community's going to love that. And I'm really excited about that. So I wanted to give you that testimonial because it's happening. The things that we say are going to happen when we drive attention there, when we put, funding, we put our money where our mouth is, if you will. And, you, of course, have been at the helm of that. So I hadn't had a chance to give you that good report. And now's a perfect time to do that. Again, to my colleagues, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for all the support in TLC, the county family, because it's really happening there. The community's seeing it. It's exciting. And of course, the community has to take that space back for themselves. And that's a process, but you're leading the way. And I want to tip my hat to you, say thank you. I know we have to take some public input, but I'm ready to make the motion, Chair, when the time is right.
Sure.
Jeff, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, so at this time, we'll go to public comment for items 36 and 37. If there's any, now's the time. Okay, seeing none, just as a reminder, we heard both reports concurrently, but we'll be voting separately on 36 and 37. We have a motion for 36. Just need a second.
Second.
Okay, second. Please cast your vote.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Brings us to item 37. Motion for that too, Perez, Supervisor?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, motion
Okay.
on the second item.
Okay.
37?
Yes. Okay. Okay, motion on 37
Second.
and second. Okay, please cast your vote.
The motion is approved. All ayes.
Okay, having no more items to consider, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn to Tuesday, November 28th, 9 a.m.
So moved.
Okay, we're adjourned. Thank you.